Hi all. So I wanted to make a video I'm gonna do a piece using some new things that I purchased. This is just some these are like these mandala-esque stencils, and so I wanted to use some on this amazing paper, which I bought in the UK, but I'm pretty sure they sell them elsewhere. I've been loving using this paper. I have done a couple of these mandalas on other paper, on this round kind of watercolor paper. They came out quite well. I can show you later in the video. But I wanted to work on this paper and kind of see how it would be on a more rectangular shape. I consume so much YouTube, and I watch podcasts, and I watch other artists, and just like anything that I find interesting, I watch, whether it's like about neuroscience or history or politics or art, supplies, like hauls, like different techniques in watercolor and multimedia, etc. And I figured, like, it's only fair if I'm gonna consume that I also participate, I guess. And so this is, you know, kind of just like a raw, unedited version of how these videos are gonna go. I'm gonna try and make them every time I sit down to kind of mess around and do something new. The stencils I got are from Temu. I don't use Temu often, but I have found that some of their art supplies are actually quite good. So these stencils were like super cheap, and I thought they were really pretty and they could be very useful. These watercolors too are from Temu. I was like hesitant to buy them, but I'm really quite happy with the color range and just how they work in general. I think that, I mean, I quite enjoy using them. So I'm gonna just kind of go for it now. The last few, which I will show you afterwards, of these that I've done, I have kind of just done the outline in ink. I haven't really done these in watercolor, so I wonder if it's gonna work, if color's gonna bleed, like how it's gonna kind of come out. But I've been working really hard on not getting too attached to the final product and just kind of like having a good time. I've been working a lot in a sketchbook, but I haven't used this specific paper in a while, and I kind of just wanted to see what would come of it. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. I also just find like mandalas to be super calming. It's almost like a crazy version of like some, I don't know, art therapy type thing. So it's good for, you know, just kind of like letting loose. I've been finding it kind of hard. We just changed the clocks, so I feel like my internal system is like a little bit messed up since it's been getting dark so early. I mean, it's like not even 6 o'clock on. It feels like it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, it's so dark. I have all the lights on in here. So that's been a little bit hard, and it will definitely take some getting used to. I am gonna do this really loose because what I tend to do is like use the basic shapes of the stencil, but then I will add to it my own kind of design afterwards. So it kind of just like, I don't know, it adds a little extra dimension to it, and something that's like less, I guess, less generic. I have done like a bunch of my own mandalas without using stencils, but I thought, like, you know, why not? Like, maybe it will, I don't know, spark my creativity in some way or another. And like, I'm not super precious about these watercolors either, so I don't know. Sometimes I just wonder like how to stick the stencil down so that it doesn't move about. If anyone has any suggestions, please do let me know. Right now it's just moved, especially when there's like so many little parts. I've made some of my own stencils which I tape down, but they are also like the shapes within them are a lot bigger, so I find that they're easier to kind of hold in place. Also, to be fair, I don't tend to use them with watercolor, so this is really like an experiment just to see how something like this might turn out. Yeah. I don't know, I always like really enjoy watching other people paint, and I know that like some people consider themselves like fine artists, some people, you know, like just do like testings of like art supplies and like, or, you know, use like one medium, like they're like professionals at like watercolor, they're professionals at colored pencils, and like I by no means am any professional in any medium, but I really enjoy using a bunch of different mediums to make different things. I jumped on the junk journal trend for a little bit. I've made like probably somewhere close to 20 or 30 junk journals, you know, all from upcycled cardboard and different ephemera and stuff. And as I said, like some of this Temu stuff, like, you know, I wouldn't buy very many things from Temu, but because I did really quite enjoy these watercolors, which I bought a while back, I thought, you know, I'll treat myself to a couple of new art supplies that I think might, you know, just be fun to play around with. So, all right, let's just do these little dots. Kind of, I don't know, I'm in like a wintry mood. I guess you can tell from the colors. They're all pretty dark, but I do have some acrylic paint markers, which I plan to kind of maybe brighten up the vibe with. So let's see how we go. I'm hoping this isn't gonna turn out like too rough. Let's see. For the inside, let's keep it bright. This is like a great color. I really love this color. It's like a, I don't know, like a dark, deep yellow. All right, let's see. Oh my God. Oh, not so shabby. I quite like it. Let me just, round that out a bit. I think also just like the rough edges of the paper with the rough edges of this painting go really, really nicely together. Like it's not all exact and, you know, perfect. So I'm quite happy with that. Now, I don't know. Let's see what happens. I'm thinking maybe we just do, like some fun leaves. I just found these colors to be so like I don't know. I think it's called like the vintage something. I don't remember the name of them from Temu. I can check if you want. You can ask me here and I will try and find my past order to see what they actually were. But yeah, I am, by no means like a professional watercolorist. Though I have watched hours upon hours of different YouTube creators who do amazing watercolor art. And I admire them for sure. But I don't know, sometimes it's just kind of nice to play around. This water was not, this paper was not, I didn't like pre-soak it or anything, so it's not been like prepped, so to speak, for it's not prepped for watercolor, so I know that helps it to absorb the water, but that said, like, I'm not using huge amounts of water here, nor am I going to be layering too many coats of the watercolor, because once this dries I will probably just end up using I will probably just end up using acrylic. Sorry about that. I also got this little palette tray because I wanted to, I've done a swatch of these colors like mixed, and the greens that come out of them are quite fun, so I wanted to use I did want to use some of those. There we have like the beginnings of a something. I'm not really sure exactly what, but I also really like to incorporate like geometric designs into the backgrounds of these, so I'm gonna see how that could pan out if I was to do that, maybe somehow. Yeah. Like go around the leaves maybe with some sort of like a geometric design. And it isn't like a perfect replica of the stencil. It doesn't bother me too much. even though sometimes I can get quite pedantic about things like this. But I think I'm gonna just leave it as like a rough everything. I mean, even if in the end, like, I cut out the center, like, I'm quite happy with the way that that came out. And, you know, 15 minutes later, it's like a pretty cute piece. The other thing I quite like doing is painting around in like a very flat, opaque acrylic color. So I've done that for a few different pieces that I've done where I've mixed like a really flat gray or like a very like opaque maroon color, and I find that it makes all of the colors pop when you pick kind of like a fun neutral. That said, like, I don't know, part of me just wants to use like this ink, which I love using, and maybe just do like giant polka dots or something silly, and then add some yellow to it. This ink is my weakness. This is this waterproof India ink. It's from Blick. I have such a weakness for this ink. It's crazy. I don't even know like where it comes from. It's just like I don't know. I love the way it feels. I love the way it dries. I love the way it looks. This was introduced to me in an art class that I took at university when I thought I was going to be a studio arts major, but in the end I changed it up. But anyway, you can dilute it with water so that the color is more of like a gray color. I quite like it when it's like this just super opaque black. I think, yeah, we're just gonna go with it. Why not? Let's just do shapes. I'm digging it. I know that this ink can also be used for calligraphy, if that's your thing. I have tried as hard as I can to get into calligraphy, but for some reason, I don't know if it's like my hand strength isn't there or what, but like I just can't get into it. Just have not been super successful in learning. I mean, I have most of the tools for it, but every time I try, I'm just like, nope, this is not working. And then I always end up like cutting out texts that are, you know, already written and like, I don't know, like from old haikus and things like that, because I don't know, my writing is not so great. Right. Well, it's coming along. Oppa. And now the fun begins. It dripped. Oh no, part of me wants to freak out, but I won't. I will figure out what I'm going to do with this. So that I can deal with. This, on the other hand, is a little bit more difficult for me to swallow. Oh no. Has it ruined it? I don't know. You tell me. Not like a super happy camper there, I guess. What I could do is afterwards fix this with like a brighter colored acrylic marker. Okay, let's not freak out just yet. Sometimes I like try to just remember that like the best art that I've ever made usually comes when like something horrible happens, like the ink spills, or I don't know, the color pencil breaks, or the oil pastel like smudges, or like whatever it is. So I'm trying to remember that, and let's just try and go easy, as they say. Okay, that's relatively adequate, I think, for right now. So let's just do one kind of sweeping shape here. Sometimes I think part of my problem is that I haven't really found like a brush that I love. Like I know some people are like, oh, this brush, it's like the best brush, and like I love this brush, and I haven't really found a brush that I feel that way about. These brushes are also from Temu, so you know, they're just like regular brushes. Also because I use multimedia, like a lot of times my brushes just like you know, get glued up, or sometimes I'm like not the best at like remembering like, oh, like you have to wash your brushes, or like if they sit in dirty water, like it's gonna get not good. So I've gotten a lot better at that, but I'm also like, I don't know, I'm just not like spending a whole lot of money on the brushes. There are certain things that like I will splurge on. So like I do have some really nice Winsor and Newton watercolors. I do have some some relatively expensive papers, oil pastels, some markers that, you know, were not cheap. But I also, you know, I'm try to be frugal with my practice. I do have one brush that was from like an art store, and it's a great brush, but it's also got like a really long handle, and I just feel like, I don't know, I think I prefer the shorter kind of handles on my brushes personally. Right, what are we gonna do here? Let's start here because I don't know. Okay, so the lighting is a bit weird, but I have finished up with my geometric ink shapes here. I've added a little bit, you can see, of some acrylic marker and some small other marker details to the leaves, and just to kind of add some depth. I think I'm gonna leave it. I kind of like it. I think it's simple. I think it's really pretty. The lighting is not great here, so I apologize for that. And I said I would show some of the other mandalas that I had done on the round paper. This one was using just like an ink and sponge to do the mandala, and then again I embellished with black markers around the edges, and some other acrylic and water-based markers around the mandala. This was one where I did with the India ink. I painted the mandala, and then the inside is watercolor, the Derwent ink tints. And then around the edges is this super cool, very metallic watercolor paint that I also purchased on Temu. I'm quite happy with how reflective it is. I think it's super cool. And then the last one, I painted the base with the reflective paint, and then I did the stencil in the Le Pen, just black ink. And then I used some Tombow markers to color in the insides. So yeah, so these are kind of just a few of the ones. I did really want to change it up with this one, and I'm quite glad that I did. I think even after the ink splotch that dripped down, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think it's super fun, and I loved using the ink on this paper, and the watercolors was also was super fun to use. So that is it for today. I will try and do another video at some point this week. I have a bunch of projects that I'm working on, so I will also try and make a video showing some other finished pieces, as well as some works in progress.